So what do we got here? Baseball game, Russia 2, NATO and the United States 0. Well, this all started after the MH17 was shot down. Um, they didn't like the idea that the rebels were controlling the area the plane went down. So in the fall of 2014, they launched an offensive with 40,000 troops to try to get, as you can see here, it's the offensive, trying to make it to MH17 and secure the area and, I don't know, prove that the rebels shut it down. Well, things turned out amazingly terrible for the NATO-backed Ukrainians. And it all centers around the city Debaltseve. It turned out terribly bad for the Ukrainians because the Russians, with a pincer movement, encircled them. And it was a debacle. The Russian separatists surrounded some 40,000 Ukrainian troops that were poorly led, poorly advised by NATO, and were completely encircled. Now, they could have been wiped out. Whenever you encircle an army, the army is in a vulnerable position because they no longer receive supplies, ammunition, and reinforcements. It's the same tactic the Russians used against the Germans in World War II. Two pincer movements, and they surrounded. It's called the Battle of Stalingrad. They surrounded the German Sixth Army, which was probably the most experienced army the Germans had. It was the army that took down Poland, took down the Netherlands, through Belgium, and proceeded to make the French surrender. So, and the fate of these guys was 250,000 men, or 250,000 soldiers, just nearly for all intents and purposes, vanished, disappeared, were never seen from again. Now, this debacle that happened in Balsev well, actually, it was a year ago. It was a year ago next week. It was February 17th. And you would think they'd learn from it. The Russians are well versed at using these pincer movements to envelop somebody. But guess what's happening just this week? This is the city of Aleppo in Syria. And once again, US or NATO backed, because Turkey's in NATO, Turkey's backing the SFA, the Free Syrian Army, Turkey's backing ISIS. They're about to get surrounded again. These guys can't learn. I mean, are they completely stupid dumbbells? I mean, how a year ago in Ukraine this was allowed to happen. Why aren't they evacuating the Free Syrian Army? The yellow, of course, is the Kurds, who are, believe it or not, working with the Syrians because the stupid Turks hate the Kurds. Here's an ethnic map of the Kurds in the Middle East. And there's already a semi-independent Kurdish state in northern Iraq. Assad is okay with giving land to the Kurds, so he enlisted them. But Turkey fears the Kurds getting any form of autonomy or independence outside, because it might motivate the massive amount of Kurds within Turkey to want independence too. So naturally, that's why Turkey's in northern Iraq, is messing around with the Kurds, and why Turkey wants to set up a border zone so it can attack the Kurds in Syria. So I guess when we were training the Free Syrian Army, I guess we were training them on how to get surrounded and captured. For all intents and purposes, they're already surrounded. If you look at the roads heading out of Aleppo, you clearly see this one's blocked off by the Syrian army, and this one, which leads out, is also goes to area controlled by the Syrian army. That's Idlib. So actually now it's almost impossible for the guys in here in this pocket that are about to be surrounded, and this is happening now, and you'll notice it's not on the news. They're not going to talk anything about this because, just like with Debaltsev, Nothing was said about that. I mean, very little coverage. And here we are making the same stupid mistakes that we made a year ago.
So, I mean, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
No, oh, I'm sure it did.
I got a new one. We came, we saw, and we got captured. Or we let our proxy army get captured.